Oh yeah, we are back, people. It's saddle up time, and that shine has definitely kicked in. So I got a
Mhm,
question, and you
mhm,
might have an answer. And everybody's got a fantasy build, okay?
uh-huh.
If you were gonna build a mud truck, and when I mean mud truck, this could be driven on the street. Um, what would you build? Let's go through the components. First off, what kind of truck would you build? Would it be a truck or would it be a car? Would it be a station wagon? I mean, it could be a fucking monster tea bucket. I mean, like, what would you build?
Blazer.
Oh, you'd build a Blazer.
Yep.
Yeah, because you have a Blazer now that you're building. So
Yeah. Uh, but I'd do an S10 Blazer because of like the new body style, like what I got.
hmm
They make a good looking big truck,
yeah,
and I would make a small mega truck out of it.
okay, okay,
It would have about 4 foot tires on it. It wouldn't have anything huge,
hmm
but it would still be a mega that I could race.
nice, nice. Now I got a couple different ones, and I've actually, like you said, you've got one that you're working on.
Yeah,
I
but it's for daily.
Yeah,
It's never going to be anything like that.
yeah, I mean, these that are kind of on my list would be kind of daily, but you could get in the mud and play. And I'm not
Right.
talking blinged out to the point where you couldn't exactly go. You wouldn't want to go in the mud. I mean,
Right.
what I would build, and I'm building something right now. It's sitting in a storage container right now, but I'll get to that in a minute. I would either build a square body S10, or I would
Mm-hmm.
do a Nissan hardbody on F250 axles, S&S drop
Mm-hmm.
box, a four
Yep.
link suspension on airbags. Um, I would do M50, the balloon tires, where they're
Mm-hmm.
real wide,
Mm-hmm.
and I would do, because they're 20-inch, 20-inch rims you could put on it, big deep dish.
Right.
I would either do a Nissan hardbody or an S10. Either one of those two. It would definitely have graphics on it, like a mini truck.
Mm-hmm.
Um, you know, it would probably be. It would probably be a. You
Mud's
know,
hard on paint.
yeah. I mean,
You're always getting rocks and shit in your mud.
yeah, because I mean, it might be a vinyl wrap deal if I was gonna play in the mud. But just thinking about it, it would have a tilt bed on it. It would definitely
Mm-hmm.
have a Z rack on it.
Right.
Um, it would definitely have an S&S drop box in it, and it would have four-wheel steering for sure. So it's like a mini monster truck, but mini truck.
Mm-hmm.
And I've actually got some renderings of doing one, and that's probably what I would go with. But I've got another project that's sitting in storage that I got an S10. It's on a K5 Blazer that's lifted, and we
Mm-hmm.
pulled the body off of it to put it on a different K5 chassis
Mm-hmm.
that better fit the S10.
Right.
So this one was cut down. It was really, we cut it up and made it what it really should have been. Then, because when I bought the truck, it was already lifted and it was on a
Mm-hmm.
K5 chassis, but the
Right.
body didn't sit on it right.
Nope.
And
You're
I
about
did,
2 inches off.
yeah. And there's a way to do it to make it look right. And these guys, I mean, basically the mounts were done. They were kind of trick, but they was really done with angle iron.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they held up well, but the problem is they put the bed on, then put the cab on, then put the front end on, and it wasn't lined up right.
Yeah.
They should have mocked up the cab and the front end to be
Mm-hmm.
square, then cut the front of the K5 chassis. But these guys had never did it before. It was just a guy and his brother wanted a fun toy, and
Yep.
it just wasn't done the way it should have been done, you know. So
the one I built was a mud drag truck, so I just let my front end stick out just a hair
yeah.
in the front fender wells
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't want to take any length away because of how fast I was going through the mud.
Yeah. So what we go ahead.
Go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say is what we end up doing with that chassis, since it had good axles and stuff underneath it, had big. It had axles that were off of a tractor, and it was 4-wheel steering, and it had a hydraulic box and all that, and we end up buying a Vicky that we were going to build into a rat rod that someone had already chopped it, but we had to finish it up because it wasn't TIG welded up all the way. And at the shop, this fucking body and chassis was in my way constantly. You know what I'm saying? And so we got some straps, and I went out in the parking lot, and I set it on top of that fucking that K5 chassis, just to get it the fuck out of my, because it was on a chassis. So all we did was put some straps, took the forklift, just set it on there, right? No big deal. No big deal, right? In the story, right? It was kind of in the back corner of the lot, and I don't know how many motherfuckers seen that and wanted to buy it. And they were like, that's the coolest fucking thing I've ever seen, blah, 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 blah. And the guy that I bought the body from, I just bought the body, and I bought the chassis off another guy, right? He must have been into watching American Chopper, because the whole fucking ceiling of this fucking chop top is done with round tube and a spider web.
Right.
And I don't know, he fucking cut it and then sent it somewhere. I don't know where they sent it to, and they had it chromed. And I don't even know how this motherfucker got it back in, because he made brackets to bolt it back in. And then they took Lexan and put on it, and then they sealed it.
Right.
But the problem was, they said they fucked it up because they never finished welding the fucking pillars.
Right.
So what I'm thinking is they did this whole thing with the roof off, and then they put the roof back on it and tack welded it, and was like, oh, we can't go any farther because of this fucking, the way the roof was, you know?
Right.
Because they didn't want to burn through the acrylic. And it's really cool. It is window tinted red.
Right.
And I'm like, man, they sure went the wrong way with this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I bought it for like $1,200, and we got a chassis from another guy and a rear end from somebody else, and then we were building the front end components to bag it. But when I put that chassis up on that K5 chassis with the big fucking 54-inch mud boggers on it, and everybody's like, that's the coolest fucking mud truck ever. And you know, we end up putting that thing in a shipping container. I'm probably gonna put it together. I think it would be bitching, you know what I'm saying? It'd be different, you know. But if I was gonna do a lifted truck, you know, I like the Toyotas. I think a space cab lifted would be fucking cool, but I would probably go with a Nissan hardbody like Orangey, but you know, no shell or anything. I think it would be pretty dope, you know. That's just my opinion, you know, because you'd have your classy, but you could still go out and play in a creek or something with it, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And if I was going to do graphics on it, it would probably be vinyl wrapped, because the vinyl is way more easier than paint.
Yeah.
You know, you dent a fucking panel, you fucking cut it out, fucking fix it, rewrap it, you're done. You know what I'm saying? So
if I was going to do one to drive on the street, I'd do a extended cab S10 on a full-size truck chassis.
Oh, yeah.
So you'd get the wheelbase so it would ride halfway decent. You'd have the fucking full-size 1-ton axles under it. But And you could get away with 36s easy on the street there.
Oh yeah, man. 36s, it's not going to be as bad as.
Yeah.
You start going
It'd be
above.
pretty tall, but
You start going above 36s, you're gonna have like a wom 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 wom, and just fucking all kinds of vibration issues and stuff. You know, especially if you're trying to do 70. You know what I'm saying? You know, if you're trying to keep up with shit on the highway. You know, but yeah, I mean that's what I would do build wise. I think that would be pretty sick. You know, a Blazer like what you're doing, you know, I think is going to be sick. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Are you going to straight axle it and four link it, or are you going to straight axle it and lease
I want
it?
to eventually.
Yeah.
I want to straight axle eventually.
Yeah. Straight axle. I mean, they're out there. I mean, you just got to go to the junkyard and find them, you know? I mean, you know.
Oh, yeah.
They're clearly fucking out there, man. You know? And one big trick is if you're going to do, you want rear steering, you know, you get the snow plow with the hydraulic fucking assist, and you take the front axle and you flip it upside down. And that's all they do.
Yeah.
You know, it's not hard, but you better put a lockout pin in the back because, you know, they can get squirrely on the highway. So, but on that note, guys, we're going to go right back into music. You're listening to Saddle Up 96.1 Styling.